All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, fellow rogues? It's Master here, and in advance, and I've probably said this on a few of my other streams lately. If I'm tired, it's because I am. But anyways, welcome in for like the latest episode for Powerwash Simulator. We're gonna be like taking on the next part of the Alice in Wonderland DLC. And also before I start the stream, I noticed that there was a recent update, like with Powerwash Simulator, at least like not like an actual update. But just like kind of like an explanation of something that's coming tomorrow, actually, which I guess is possibly the last one of this. But I read in the notes for this on Steam that they are doing another Muckingham Files, which is gonna be tomorrow. And I think like a lot of signs point that possibly like a subway train or something. I know there was like one map we did like that actually took place in a subway station, so it's gonna be pretty interesting going in and like cleaning a subway car, if that's what they're doing. It showed like a train thing, so it's gonna be some kind of train or a subway, a bullet train or whatever. By the way, point is that next time I do like a Powerwash Simulator stream, I'm probably gonna do like next episode of Muckingham Files. Either gonna be just that by itself, depending on how long it is, and possibly more of the Alice in Wonderland stuff, or I'll probably just like split it up between them. But anyways, back aside from that, yeah, me being tired, it's an understatement. Yesterday morning, like I had it was around from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. Yesterday, I did like episode 4 for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. And after that, I had like 3 hours of sleep. Did last night's stream for episode 5 for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Hit the gym a few hours ago, and now here I am doing the stream. So safe to say, as soon as I finish this, just so I can be ready for the Chrono Trigger stream later tonight, I'm gonna be getting me some sleep. But I wanted to make sure I kind of did this. I wanted to kind of balance them out, so I wouldn't be like rushing trying to do both streams later. So I figured like I had like enough energy to go and do this stream here, do one job on this, regardless of how long it's gonna be, and then afterwards I'll be ready I can get some rest, and then be ready for Chrono Trigger tonight. Answer your question, Amber. I actually kind of was sorting cards because I got that new binder that I was talking about in the Pokemon stream last night, and I was kind of switching out the cards from my Crown Zenith binder into the new binder, and put my Paradox Rift stuff into the binder I had my Crown Zenith cards in. So yeah, I kind of was up doing that, but also a lot of it was just the fact that I was in the gym for a little while as well. But either way, I want to just go and get that out of the way, as far as, like, sorting the cards. But again, I'm good for the stream. I'm just going to pretty much be going in and just doing this one job for the Alice in Wonderland stuff. And afterwards, I'm going to crash. Because I was, like, trying to figure out if I want to do this or the Chrono Trigger stream and then do the other one later. I was like, well, because originally I was saying I was going to, like, do Chrono Trigger and then play this afterwards. I think I was saying that in the previous stream. But I figured this would be better, getting my current energy levels, because it's, like, it's more relaxing. It's kind of like going to help me, hopefully, like, help me ease into sleeping, getting some rest. And also, I feel like if I try to go and do Chrono Trigger, my mind, I mean, I'm not, like, nearly awake enough to really go in and, focus on an RPG. But I promise I'm not going to be dozing off midstream. I'm, I'm awake enough. I actually got a little bit of caffeine in my system before I started this. Promise you guys I'm alert enough to, do this one thing here, which is going to be, if I'm correct, the next one we're supposed to be doing is going to be the caterpillars spot. So let me, like, go into, all right, yeah, so, yeah, that was the wrong thing. But yeah, again, they said the Mugheim Files, like part 6 is going to be released tomorrow, and it was kind of like something a little bit, kind of foreshadowing. They were saying that as they were nearing, like, actually kind of like just say exactly what they said here, let you guys know. So it says, hello, watchers. As we approach our final stop on our Powerwash Simulator journey, we'd like to thank you all for joining us. Mugheim Files 6 will be arriving shortly. And it says, approach our final stop. So it's obviously, and everything is kind of like, as you guys, like, kind of steer here as I'll show you. Yeah, so everything's like hinting that it's going to be a train. And it said the final stop, and I think there's two different things. One, it was a pun, like a fact that it's going to be a train thing. But also, I think final stop, and that this is maybe the last Mugheim Files I think they're going to do. Because obviously, Powerwash Simulator 2 is coming up. So I'm thinking they're probably actually, they may be about done with all the DLC. And they put so much content out for this game. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I definitely can't wait to play the other one. And this time I'm going to have, like, my friends, like, playing, like, Powerwash Simulator 2 along with me. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and start getting things together so I can get a job and get me some rest. But, yeah, it's going to... See, this shows how, like, how not alert I am. I'm going to the wrong thing. But, yeah, it's going to be, like, interesting to see, like, where the devs, like, go moving forward. Because I absolutely love this game. I've had so much fun with it. Yeah, so Caterpillar's Mushroom. All right, we already read this before. So we're going to go and jump on into it. But yeah, it's going to be, like, really interesting to see, because I'm just, one thing I'm curious about is, like, what kind of DLC they're going to do for Powerwash Simulator 2, like, what they're going to do with that one. I still say if they have, like, a Nintendo Switch version of it for the Switch 2 or just a Switch, I still say that Splatoon would be, like, a absolutely amazing, console exclusive, for them to do with, for Powerwash, considering, like, whole point of Splatoon is, like, everything getting, like, really messy and all that. But this really shouldn't take me too long to clean. I'm really interested to see, like, how this is going to look once it's done. I'm definitely kind of digging the locales here. I mean, it kind of gives, like, it definitely looks like a place where Shrek would probably hang out. I'm liking, like, I'm just wondering what the whole deal was with the feed here. I don't think it's, I'm guessing it's the caterpillars. I mean, it would make sense because it's a crap load of feet. So, I'm really just interested to see, like, how this is going to look once I'm done. Whilst you work, I'd like to run my thoughts to a paradox that's been troubling me. I can't remember if that's how I was having him talk before. Just like I know, like, with Chrono Trigger tonight, I'm definitely going to be, like, probably, like, forgetting, like, some of the voice of different characters, so you guys bear with that, because I was voicing characters before on Chrono Trigger. And sometimes, like, lose track of, like, how I was voicing who. Perhaps it's been troubling you, too. I mean, I wouldn't know. You haven't actually asked me the question yet. It is a metaphor of my metamorphosis. Metamorphosis? All right, look, dude, I'm sleep deprived. Don't, like, let me, like, start making, like, puns and plays on words right now. Because I'm going to fail at them. Look here, okay? I'm the one that just metamorphosis. Well, I said metamorphosis or whatever. Whatever. Well, I beat you to the punch, dude, so I'm going to patent that. And demand royalties, like, from that. Simply put, who am I? All right, so we're going, like, Mushu from, like, Mulan here. Who am I? Who am I? And I think what is he's got it there on inside his cocoon on top of his mushroom. He's done got geeked up or whatever. He's over there, like, being all philosophical. All right, so I don't really think this is gonna take too long once I kind of really get into it. I'm just curious, like, because people were saying, like, these maps were, like, short, like, were long, but really, I mean, it hasn't been really that long yet. I mean, Rabbit's house didn't take too long to clean. The White Rabbit's house and the Wonderland entrance, like, definitely wasn't that long. I mean, this definitely looks like it's kind of like got bigger scale to it. But people were saying, like, that this is supposed to be, like, what's like the longest out of the DLCs. And personally, on the Tomb Raider stuff, to me, it felt like it was definitely a slog. I mean, I haven't finished the Final Fantasy stuff to know. I haven't started the Wallace and Gromit stuff yet. I mean, really, this is, like, only the third DLC I've done out of them, so I can't really, like, say which, This definitely feels like longer than the like, shorter than the Shrek stuff so far. Okay, let me, like, get around here and just go ahead and, like... I definitely want to make sure I kind of get this taken care of, because otherwise this is going to, like, end up catching me. Okay, so the good news is that entire thing where there was one section, so that's good. I thought it was like it was individual. Very least, one thing I did kind of do to keep myself occupied this morning. For those who don't know, something that I kind of like partaking in as far as like making sweets. I mean, I do like cooking. Obviously, those are like see my community posts in the past for like my ramen and other stuff I've made. That I kind of like cooking. And one thing I definitely like making from time to time is Dr. Pepper brownies. So I made me a batch of those earlier because while I was on vacation, the people I was staying with, was Amber Wolf 17 and Rockin' Nachos. They wanted to make the brownies for them, and I did. They loved it, and I was like, okay, now you got me kind of craving making them for myself. And originally, I was using like a different brand. Back when I was, working the Haunted Trail as a part of, there was a few people out there that, like the brownies. And a friend of mine, like, her boyfriend's daughter, it was her birthday. So she had me, like, make, like, a batch of the brownies, for her. And, that's the thing. I mean, I like cooking from people, like, when I can. I'm not, like, the best cook on the planet, but, what I dabble in, I do like, feeding people. But, because originally I was using, like, one brand. I switched the brand up because, like, I realized, because I actually tried one of the brands. I was like, okay, this actually, and because when I tried them over while I was on vacation, when I made it for, like, Amber and Rockin' Nachos, and I was like, shoot, okay, this actually tastes better than any other ones I've made. And I realized it was the brand. I think I was using Duncan Hines, and I switched over to Betty Crocker, because that's, like, the brand that Rockin' Nachos had brought home. He bought, like, some salted caramel ones. But for those who might think, like, like, how's Dr. Pepper work? I mean, it's kind of like, I guess, like, a little bit of a thing that runs in the family a little bit, because my mom, she makes 7-Up cakes. So basically, she makes like a pound cake, but she uses 7-Up. But the whole thing with like Dr. Pepper is that it's just like it kind of like like the whole thing with how I do it is I just I substitute it it in instead of water, and it kind of like I hate the M word, but it makes like the brownies like really moist and gives like a little bit of sweetness to them because Dr. Pepper has kind of like a little bit of a, to me it has like a bit of a vanilla-ish taste. It's kind of hard to really like kind of explain the taste of Dr. Pepper, but I've always like for me it's kind of had like a bit of a fruit flavor. And it's kind of like little hints of cinnamon and vanilla. That's how I've always interpreted the flavors of Dr. Pepper. But I'm over talking to you guys, and I'm already that shows I'm house sleep deprived. I'm over here like cleaning stuff already cleaned. But yeah, it's not even really like the most extensive recipe. I know there's like other ones that people have like done online that like involve like adding marshmallows and making everything complete from scratch. But for me, what I usually tend to do is I follow the directions on the box. But I add like about like maybe like 1/3 or 1/2 a cup of Dr. Pepper, and that's basically it. Of course, powdered sugar can definitely bring it out as well. But it's actually a very simple recipe. But I remember like when I was part of the Haunted Trail, and I did like bought some out there, and people were like like what you put in these? Like they were asking like what it was. I was like Dr. Pepper, and it's like you're serious. And I was like. So yeah, I mean, like the few people out there that actually, enjoyed like, the food I bought and everything, I love, cooking for them. But yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I think like, the batch I made today might have came out. I mean, I'm hoping I didn't like botch it because I think I put like a little more Dr. Pepper in than I normally do. and it kind of like, came out more like it was more liquidy, when I put it into the pan. I mean, it still like it came out okay for the most part. Like the majority of the brownies are actually firm enough to eat. But the only thing is, I think like the middle kind of like was a little bit more molten. So I'm hoping that I can maybe like put it in my fridge or whatever, and that'll like kind of like help help out, like help it firm it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like really proud of my ramen though, even though that's not like still that even itself isn't really anything extravagant. Okay, this thing's gotta be insanely colorful. I can already tell once it's done. I can't wait to see the end result. I think like this is one of those things where it's just like, it's like it's all the little corners and everything. So I gotta like, watch what I get. But I mean, as long as if it's like at least an hour, I'll be content with that. But I'm guessing like since there's supposed to be, I think like only like 2 more jobs at this, I'm gonna like say that if it's not like, the Tea Party, like, the Mad Hatter, and the March Hares, Tea Party. I believe it was the March Hare. The Mad Hatter and the March Hares, Tea Party. And it's like the last one or one of them has got to be the Queen of Hearts castle. It's got to be something to do with the Queen of Hearts. Like if it isn't the Queen of Hearts, I'm going to be extremely surprised. Yeah, I mean, I've got like, there are like other ways I've kind of like spiced my ramen up before. Like I have like add like, what was it again? It was yeah, I put kimchi in it. Like I have like added kimchi to it before, but I mean, kimchi's one of those things like it kind of like, it has to like, it's I kind of like have like a love-hate relationship with it. Okay, I'll worry about that in a second when I get around over there. I'm gonna like stay focused on over here at the moment. I think it's like sometimes like when people can tell like, I'm kind of like tired or whatever when I'm like, can't even like really like, keep like a proper, a lot of times like when I'm playing this, I don't like, keep like a proper, plan for what I'm cleaning. But when you see me like all over the place or whatever and losing train of thought, that tells you I'm tired. I mean, the main thing I just kind of wish is that there's just like places around here where I can get like different varieties of ramen. In my original state, I was simply a caterpillar. Of that, there could be no doubt. I mean, no shit, your name's literally Caterpillar. There's just like so much stuff to clean, which... Once I get around to the mushroom itself, it was self-evident, I think. Therefore, I am. He's got little socks. I love it. He's got little socks. But now I'm in my cocoon. I think the same, but I'm not the same. I am liquid. Well, I mean, that's a pretty solid statement you made there. God, that was fucking terrible. I think, therefore I jam. Hey, the bad puns are my job, dude. Don't be jelly in my success when, bad puns. God, let me stop. I think I get worse when I'm sleep deprived. That's what I was telling like that shop. Like any place that has me enjoy green onions, which I mean I don't hate them. It's just it's like the texture. I mean the taste doesn't bother me. It's just the texture of them. But they actually did really good with it. So I definitely want to go back there again and no doubt. I love this. I mean I just love he's got like these little footy socks. Wait a minute. Does he have pajamas? Is that his pajamas? I like. Oh my god! It's like I guess it's either pajamas or it's actually like a suit. I love this. Okay, yeah, this, I mean, I love like that tend to do. I mean, I'm not, that's his pajamas or it's just like clothes, but. I mean, I'll say it looks cozy-ish. I I mean, though, like, you know, obviously by game, it does kind of like it's made like a plastic or whatever, but, you know, it can't be helped, like, as far as, like, the graphics of the games are concerned, but. Oh, okay, it's just a jumper. Okay, it says jumper. Well, basically, you know. And yeah, and it says caterpillar socks. These are socks. That's actually adorable. Alright, I gotta, like, you know, yeah, the line post. That's one thing I kind of love about this game, too. Like, sometimes when they have, like, things, like, based around characters, you know, you can kind of, like, see, like, little attention to detail in the environment. They kind of, like, you know, basically give them personality without them actually showing up. I guess it kind of makes sense with them all being a different pattern when you look at this, because, like, literally there's all patterns there, so it makes it where it matches by not matching. Such as, like, you know, basically, I guess, like, the whole thing with Alice in Wonderland, like, you know, things that don't make sense here. So him having, like, a whole mismatch of, like, different sock colors or whatever and designs goes with the fact that this thing right here just... I mean, it looks like someone just, like, you know, ate, like, a crap load of Skittles and Gushers and fruit by the foot or whatever, and just threw it all up, but in the most, like, awesome way. Okay, so let me see. The jumper's probably... Oh, there it is. So the yellow ones... Yeah, he's... Okay, yeah, he's got, like... The yellow ones, I think, are the only ones that actually do match. Yeah, he's got, like, one right there, like the Tiger Stripe ones, and that one right there. Yeah, the yellow one, he's got, like, one pair of yellow ones that match, but everything else doesn't. Oh, no, never mind. He's got, like, one right there to match. He has, like, these right here match, too. So I think out of all, he's only got, like, 2 pairs that match. Okay, the jumper's clean. Okay, let me, like, you know, continue, like, you know, clean the wooden decks. We're almost done with this. Should about do it right here. Done. Well. And this is going to be, like, another quickest job. It's really, like, once I get started cleaning on cleaning that, yeah. It's just going to kind of going... Wait a minute, is that a... He's got a butterfly shrine. Alright, yes. Let's see, did it say under... Alright, yeah, so all of it's one part, so... Definitely got to make sure I get, like, each of these little sections right here. Go and get, like, the shrine out of the way, just... Oh, shit! Hi, Cheshire. I didn't even notice he was up there. I was like doing this because it's like the way it happened, because it's like because basically it's like the colors were kind of, it was like 2 things that were colorful. I wasn't even paying attention to him, and because like how colorful that was. And again, I'm sleep deprived, so. Wait, is he following me? Oh shoot, he's oh yeah, he's his head's actually following me. It looks like I think it is, or maybe not. I couldn't tell if it was like if he was following me or not, or like I said, was tracking me. I gotta get on top of it. Like that'll give me a better vantage point to finish cleaning it. Well, maybe I don't need to get up there. All right, let's see. So the plinth's almost done. Yeah, this is definitely one of those like where they want me to try to like clean. It's probably this right here. There it goes. Now we just gotta finish this up. I think I know what the problem is. There we go. Yeah, so I thought it was. I thought it was like a spot I couldn't really get to. Alright, just gotta keep on hitting the fungal deck here, or fungus deck. But honestly, I am kind of hoping. I mean, at the same time, it's kind of like I'm on the fence about it. I think like it would be cool if like they did come out with like another, licensed DLC thing for this. But I'm also at the same time kind of like hoping they don't, because I already gotta get caught up on everything else before Powerwash Simulator 2 comes out. And I figured they could just like save whatever else like for the next game. But it would be interesting if they did like kind of like because I kind of feel like the Mughams thing like part 6 should be like where they stop, where the DLC is. Concludes, because they said the final stop, so I'm wondering if that's actually what they're gonna do. Yeah, that should clean and finish it up. Like, oh, that's a big chunk right here. Now this should do it. I keep thinking I've got it or whatever, like cleaning these spots up. I feel like there's like probably like just a big chunk somewhere I'm missing. Well, that'll do it. Still wasn't quite enough to finish it. I mean, there we go. Yeah, that was definitely like, one of the things that probably took the longest to clean here. All right. I'll work on that in a second. Let's go ahead and on over here. We got this bridge to take care of. Cheshire still up there? Yeah, just hanging out. Yeah, now that exactly knows exactly how you clean these things. Or like at least I know the fact that it's not like some yeah, that right there, like it's all one piece. I know I'm not gonna get like any like those rapid fire dings like I got like at Rabbit's house the other last week. But It's always fun when you get like the rapid fire ones like that. I'll get back over to the bridge in a second. Yeah, we're just going to get focused back on this. Okay, we're about to get like some more lore in a second. Right about... Well, I mean, I thought I was about to. I just wanted to like see like where that led. Okay, it looks all right. It looks like the bridge is mostly. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to try. The only thing is, I definitely got like a tall order. All right, to elaborate, tall order ahead of me of like trying to complete more than before like ZA comes out. I mean, because I would like to get through like Shining Pearl, but when a caterpillar wraps up inside a cocoon, it does not simply change from a caterpillar into a butterfly. Or he's about to, like get scientific with it, going to animal biology. I mean, because like I said, I would like to play some more of the Pokemon games before ZA, but if I could at least like maybe do Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, I mean, its head does not simply grow more refined, replete with a long, elegant tongue. Its body does not shrink, grow hairy, and sprout wings. I know. I like he's trying to like... Oh no, the process is far more singular than that. Let's not scar the children, dude. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm already trying to like get through Let's Go Pikachu. And I was because like I said, I want to do like Shining Pearl and like do another playthrough of Shield since I played through that back on on Twitch. I think it was like Twitch. Like, I want to say I think it was Mixer, but I think it actually might have been Twitch where I play Shield. But I mean, like I said, it's like I kind of wanted to do that, but it's not gonna be the end of the world. Like if I can't play either of those before ZA comes out. I know I definitely do want to start trying to cover more there's definitely a few other Pokemon games I do want to cover on this channel, and those are the main ones. Unfortunately, a lot of the ones I would like to play are only on the GBA and DS and everything. I keep on hoping that Nintendo will eventually put them on the the Switch Online. Yeah, that right there is gonna be what's gonna take a lot of time right here. Just the fungus itself, just the. Either way, I mean, I'm definitely excited for ZA. Welcome to Elginox. Of course, if everything goes well, I'm also excited for, what I'm hoping to do, for my next Pokemon card unboxing, if everything works out. I'm hanging in there. Outside of being sleep deprived. Trust me, I'm gonna be going to sleep after this. Like, I've had like 3 hours of sleep between like the last 3 streams, so. As I kind of explained at the start of this. But believe me, before I do Chrono Trigger tonight, I'm definitely gonna be resting. Goodness, we're already almost like halfway done with this. Oh, he's got a little window right there, like a little door. Oh, there's his cocoon. I was going like, oh, I got those. And definitely, I've seen like a lot of spots here I missed. Probably want to go ahead and try to work on the, like some of those before I get back to the Yeah, the little footprints are cute. It also makes me wonder like how long he's been in that cocoon or whatever. Because I mean, it was dirty. I'm just trying to figure out like what in the hell happened or whatever. Like to where like he's inside that cocoon or whatever, and it was dirty and everything, and everything was dirty. All right. So once I get like another one of these things like clean, I'm gonna take a really quick break, guys. And like doing this, I can cover like more range. Okay, now if I'm right, if I can climb up here, I should be able to hit several of these at one time. Yeah, this is being a bit problematic here. All right, guys, like I said, I'll be right back. sorry about that. Alright. Alright, so I'm probably actually going to need like a ladder for this. At least we're at the 50% mark. Like I said, this right here, because I'm kind of like dreading like seeing what's going to be on top. But the cocoon's like being a bit of a pain to clean because, alright, let me go and get bring the scaffolding a little bit closer. That's weird. I can't put it down. But there we go. Okay, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we gotta clean up there. I might actually go out there and just clean the top side of it, just go and get it out of the way. Yeah, it's those little notches right there inside the cocoon. There we go. Alright. Alright. Let's go ahead and try to work on as much of the underside as possible. Thankfully, oh, okay, yeah, this is not going to be a problem. I'm making pretty short work of this. A little wax on, wax off here. Some bits are like still a little tricky, like kind of get in there and kind of rub it out, but rinse it off. I just noticed something. It looks like something's holding the mushroom up. It looks like someone's trying to hold it up. I just noticed that. You see, whilst you have been working, I have completely deconstructed myself. And yet you can somehow still, like, use technology to, like, text me. When you're, like, I guess, like, you're amorphous, hands or something. I'm now liquid, which simultaneously mirrors both what it was to be a caterpillar and what it is to be a butterfly. Are you sure you ain't just geeked? So is the question still, who am I? Or what am I? Plot twist, he's secretly not even actually a liquid. He's just in there just geeked up out of his mind. He's in there, like, talking about, like all this talk of solids and liquids. I mean, what is he, a Frosty from Wendy's? Remember, like, back, years ago, they had, like, the whole, like, commercial where they were trying to say wasn't a solid or a liquid? And which, my thing is, like, it was always, like, y'all, like, trying to argue semantics here. It's basically, to me, like, the same thing that how it is with water. It's like, okay, or basically the whole thing of, like, water going to be a solid and a liquid, where they're basically just talking, like, chemistry or whatever. It's like, is this, like, is a Frosty a solid or a liquid? It's like, okay, when you eat it or whatever, it's going to, like, melt on your tongue or whatever, so it basically becomes a liquid. But it's solid enough for you to basically, put it on a spoon, so technically it's a solid. It's just a soft solid. Kind of like how it is with water and everything. When water is, like, liquefied, it's, it can be a liquid, and it also, when it's ice, is a solid. Of course, we're not going to talk, science and everything here, but... At the very least, we're almost done. We're currently at Order 66. Well, Star Wars there. There's a lot of, like, the mushroom where I'm going to have to get up there and get, like, the top side of it, so... Just getting, like, everything I can down here, and then we'll climb up. And this job is, like, it was taking about as long as I thought it was. I thought it was going to probably be about an hour. So I'm going to think it's probably going to be a bit over an hour that we're going to be finished with it. I'm just still wondering, like, if one of these jobs is going to be insanely long, considering people have said it's longer. It's like, this is, like, the longest DLC in the game. Longer than Shrek, but, it's, like, the thing is, I've been speeding through these jobs, like, compared to the Shrek ones, like, specifically the Potion Factory and, Duloc or whatever. Those are, like, the longest jobs, like, in the Shrek thing. And really, the only reason, like, the reason that, Dragon's Lair, like, took me so long was because, I was, like, spending, like, a lot of time talking, not really focusing. I was, like, talking to the chat about Pokemon cards and all this other stuff, so I really wasn't paying as much attention. If I really was staying focused like I need, like staying more focused on it, I would, could have finished that one a whole lot quicker. Really, the Dragon's Lair thing really was not that long. It was me that was kind of holding it up on, getting it finished. Alright, we'll use the extra long. Oh yeah, you get on up in those goodies right there. Yeah, that's where it is. That's where a lot of the nastiness is. Now, the stock segment here is, like, still giving me some problems, but I think a lot of it is... Oh. Once I get the gill out of the way, I'll be happy. We're close. We're getting there. Okay. Let's see. It's kind of like, go a little bit higher. I'm kind of feeling like a lot of this is like, it's just like a standard ladder for me to climb up. Okay, I'll just, like, see if I can pull this scaffolding around just a little bit. See what this does. Whoa, okay. That's a little too high, but I think I'm seeing like what I need to do right here. Perfect. Alright, that segment's clean. Alright, the gills are done. Problem is this thing's segment is the problem. This thing's got like no more layers than Shrek's onions. Yeah, this thing is like heavily segmented. That's the problem. I don't like that. Alright, let me pull the scaffolding around. Hold on, I can get some of it from right here. Just, and these little pockets right here aren't really like helping matters either. The platforms. So glad when I get them finished. I'm sorry, but whoever like decided to make this whole thing segmented, you're evil. How dare you? And let me go ahead and like hit each of these platforms. Alright. That one. I feel like I'm playing Mario here. Okay, at least I'm getting these stupid platforms out of the way. Well, that might explain a lot of things right here. Yeah. Okay, looks to me like we got like a good bit of it. It's mainly the, like at the rim right there. And saying the stalk segment. Seeing like a little bit right there, got clean. So which segment is it? It's the green one. Yeah, it's the dark green one. It looks like it needs to be cleaned. There's just like a lot, you know, if I get back up these platforms, I can probably like, you know, definitely probably be like some I've missed up here, maybe. Just the platforms are like really weird. You have to like stand in a particular spot just to... You guys notice like I got up them no problem before, but now like it's giving me problems with getting up there. Yeah. And I know my platforming skills. So don't at me on that. Uh-huh. That's what I thought. Woo! Yeah, you need a bath. Get up all in those goodies. Get all that cleaned. Okay, are we done with this stupid mushroom stalk now? Because it definitely seemed like I kind of got like a lot of sections there. Alright, so we can go on, we can climb up there now. Because the rim or whatever is all like one part, so I think we're about to find out. Oh no, you don't. I see you. I see you. Okay, now that is evil. Fine, I'll climb your stupid platforms. I gotta climb all the way up to the top or whatever. There better be a princess up here. I mean, really, all else is to do is like go climb on top of the mushroom. Okay. Yeah, it's the rim right here. But I can kind of like, hit that. He's got a couch up here. That's right. Yeah, of course, he had the couch. Is that his hookah? Bubble blower. Yeah, that's what we're calling it, huh? Aromatic bubble blower. Okay, yeah, that's what we're calling this. Y'all know dang well what that is. Aromatic bubble blower. All things aside, I mean, I will say that is a damn comfy looking chair. He's got lumbar support and everything. Oh, what the hell does his ass need lumbar support? Is that, you know, he ain't got, he's an invertebrate. He doesn't have a lumbar to support. The sound of your work is so soothing. I'm feeling altogether more myself again. Sure you're not just becoming one with the liquid, you know, from my pressure washer or something, dude? Because he was saying he's basically a liquid right now. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone had a cocoon in which to pop whenever the world got a little too much? I'm sure dear Alice could do that, do with one about now. I mean, I've got a cocoon. It's called my room. You know, it's called my room with a pizza in one piece. I got my own little, like, cocoon I can go into at times. I wonder where she's got to. Hopefully somewhere where her head's still attached. And he's got a little fez. I mean, the past two, like, things have basically, been saying, like, she's done pissed a lot of people off. Of course, the top of the mushroom segment as well, but at least this one's easier to get to. Problem is, I'm so close to it, I'll never clean the chair. At the very least, we're in the home stretch of this. Speaking of stretch, literally, like a place you can, like, this chair's like said, like, be way too comfy to stretch on. I mean, no doubt, if I like was on this, I definitely would probably. I mean, I don't know, that curve right there. But when you think about it, like, if you're like sitting right here, yeah, I mean, it could work. If your leg, like, because considering how big Caterpillar is. Yeah, so basically, if you lounge right there, have your back right there, your legs right there, like spread. Yeah, okay, yeah, this would be really comfy. But again, like, with him being an invertebrate, it's like he can probably, like, just like sit on in whatever position he wants to, and it's not gonna like really bother him because he doesn't have a back, for a back to get bruised up, or back to sprain or strain, whatever. I do like the little table, though. It's a cute little table. He's got a little. It's in the table's got feet. I would totally like have a table like that, no doubt. All right, so 15% more. Things then I can also use a chair as a bit of a means, because like I said, I'm so close, like down there to the mushroom or whatever, and spraying everything. So this kind of like lets me like see things a little bit more, because that's the thing. You see, like when you're right down here on it, for some reason, it kind of like makes it a little bit trickier to see everything because you're right there, like close to it. But here, you kind of get like a little bit of a vantage point. The only thing I hate is the fact that thing's segmented. But I mean, I can also understand it makes it like, less simple. Because like a lot of like, areas where, you climb on houses or whatever, like it's not segmented. So you just like clean one big spot or like two big spots or whatever. Like one side of the roof and then the other. So I kind of like see like this like makes it like a little bit more of a challenge. It gives like, some uniqueness to it. Like each has like multiple segments you got to clean and get a little bit of money, pop for each one. But obviously for me, like money's not an issue. I know like a lot of these jobs I could probably like finish a whole lot quicker if I just used soap. But there's only like a few jobs where I actually did use soap to kind of speed things up. And that was like ages ago. I don't think I've really ever used. I don't think I've used soap for like any of the DLC stuff. I can't remember if I did like for the Tomb Raider portion. I mean, I still can't see like how people are saying that unless like they are gonna do like a big curveball at some point. I still don't see like how people are saying this is longer than the Shrek DLC, because so far like each of these jobs have been. This one's like definitely like the biggest I've done in this DLC, I think. Like as far as like scale and like time, whatever. Because I don't know. I mean, I was on like the rabbit one, like I think for a little bit, like Rabbit's house. But that one just had like a whole bunch of stuff to clean. Like I feel like it just had like a bunch of like little smaller things to clean or whatever. Had like a lot more. I mean, it was smaller scale, but like a lot more stuff you had to like go through. There's definitely like been like a lot of this one, but. It's just sheer size here. Like, but hey, at the very least, this mushroom isn't the gnome garden, the gnome fountain. Because I've talked about the notorious gnome fountain like multiple times during my streams. For those like who watch that episode, you know what I'm talking about. But really, the gnome fountain, the main issue with that one is that if I would have had like my most powerful washer, it wouldn't have taken nearly as long. But they had me in there with a washer that this is like before I think like had like the. I guess DLC would be considered like post game or whatever, where you had like the one I'm using now. That one was designed like after like you having to use like a particular one that wasn't like the strongest. But if I would have had this one like I was doing the gnome fountain, it would have been nowhere near as bad, and I would have like got through it like a lot quicker. But I do like the whole concept of how like the mushroom stands out compared to everything else. Like all these other mushrooms around here are just very bland. The only other thing here that actually has color to it is the Cheshire Cat. Or they're like, just like, someone threw up a whole bunch of starbursts. I know I already made like the joke about like, throwing like, someone like throwing up Skittles. Like as far as like, the caterpillar's jumper, but no, he looks like someone like, ate a whole bunch of, like some kid like ate a whole pack of starbursts and got on a roller coaster and doused someone's cat with it. Like, just like, got on a roller coaster or whatever, threw up, and then like it landed on someone's cat and it was just like walking around like below. Of course, now that's the image y'all got in your heads. So the only thing is I don't know if I can actually get the rim from here. So like I'm gonna have to actually go down a little bit lower, which I can still probably hit that from down there, but looks to me like the rim is like right below this. So that's gonna be a problem. Either way, it's not much longer now. Well, yeah, that too, but we got like, a Starburst cat with Judge Doom eyes up there. Whereas it does make sense that they have like, Cheshire, like, in each of the stages, when you look at the whole factor that the main story of Powerwash Simulator had like a lot to do with like, with like the mayor's cat. It was actually like a little subplot based around like, cats. I'm guessing I should be able to finish this before like an hour and 20 minutes. We're at an hour and 8 minutes now. Okay, so we got like, clean. Yeah, there we go. Well, I mean, that's completely different. Well, this one should like help with that segment right there, but. All right, let me see. What else? It's a little more to the orange one. Well, even like the colors, this thing like a starburst. At least with the yellows and oranges. It's not really helping the fact that all these bright colors wherever, and I'm already, like I said, eyes are kind of like, hurting a little bit from like me definitely needing sleep. But at least I, place on here, like, definitely, it's kind of like, going to help me wind down a little bit, help me relax some. Yeah, that one definitely has, like, alright, so we gotta, like, follow the purple. Oh, yeah. Should be able to finish that up from here. Okay, is that... Whoa. Yeah. Okay, now we still gotta get the rim here. I don't know if I can, like... Maybe I can... I'm hoping I can use the extra long segment down here. Oh, shit. Yeah, if I can use the extra long segment, we're good. If I can hit it from here, which I should be... Oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be a cakewalk then. It's not gonna be nearly as bad. Problem is, it's kind of like this. I'm just concerned I might not be able to be hitting all of it. Okay. Get around this. I mean, it's obviously like still a few other like things where we need, like, you know. Jesus, I think like just spazzed out right there because it, like, you know, was colliding with that. Let's not do that again. Yes, I am gonna have to like take this thing like around to the other side to kind of get like some of the rest of it, but with any luck, it's not gonna really be like, you know, too much effort because like, I know I got most of it cleaned. There's only like so many areas where I can take the scaffolding, so. Okay, and hopefully just one more side. I'm still saying I'm gonna, like, you know, finish this up before, like, you know, the hour 20-minute mark. You know, that might be where I'm... How did I miss all that? Jesus. Well, that might explain things. Pay attention, James. Don't ever sleep deprived. That's where the problem is. Yeah. Alright. Bridge lanterns. And thankfully, everything's down here. So we are about to be done. And if I look at... I can't believe I missed all that. Okay. Okay, let's check these right here, and if not this, it'll be the other one. There's gotta be something with these. I swear, it's always like... Alright. I guess I thought I got the plinth, but... Alright, rogues, mission complete. Whew. it was fun though. I definitely like. I really love the design of the cat. Let's see actually from a distance here. See how this looks. Yeah, like I said, I just love the whole concept of how like everything else is so mundane all around, but then this one mushroom is just like stands out. Not a speck of millipede footfall to be found. How wonderful. I stand and emerge from my chrysalis, atop the mushroom in a glorious sunny spot. The wings are sprouted. You should see them. They look finer than a haberdasher's curtains. Just in time, too. If I'm not mistaken, it appears to be exactly the moment to discover just how much bigger the world really is. Yeah, you go for it, dude. Make sure you pay me first, what you did, but... Called it. I want to at least look at it, so like I said, they couldn't do this DLC without the Tea Party. And I'm having a feeling like the last one's got to be the Queen of Hearts castle. Or something that had to do with the Queen of Hearts. Because you can't have like Alice in Wonderland without the Queen of Hearts. I want to at least see it. Or of course it's March Hare's garden. When is the table not a table? I don't know what voice I'm doing. Hang on. Why, when it is unpalatable, of course. And when it is a tea not for me. When it's someone else's property. Okay, here's an easier one. Why is the raven like a writing desk? Don't start that shit. No idea, me neither. And it doesn't matter a jot. Unanswers are always so much more interesting. Anyway, of course, if you don't know the unanswer either, then you better come clean. The table's dirty after all. Coming clean is my thing, dude. I help everyone else come clean. After all, and we can't just have you standing there with a sprightly little pepper pot. Hop to it, chop chop. In truth, the March is forever complaining about how grubby everything is, but when the plate gets dirty, I just move everyone along one space. So I really can't see the issue. I want to see what it looks like at least before we... I mean, I'm not going to do this one today, but I just want to see what this area looks like, because, you know, I was hoping to be able to clean this. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this one. Yeah, this actually might end up being my favorite. Okay, yeah. This is going to be fun next week, Rogues. I mean, I'm hoping I'll be able to, like, you know, do both the, because, I mean, the Buckingham Files, that definitely is, like, you know, I want to do that next week, so hopefully it's not going to be too big so I can't do this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to heavily enjoy this one. I was hoping to do the Tea Party, and this might end up actually being my favorite. Because the thing I thought about is, like, you know, because everything I've always, like, you know, kind of like, I've perceived, you know, with the Tea Party and Alice in Wonderland, is that's just pure chaos. I remember, like, in the Disney thing, there was, like, you know, like, the whole thing with, like, the Mad Hatter, like they, like, took the, to the White Rabbit's, like, you know, like, watch, and I think, like, you know, and just pretty much, you know, spread jam and everything all in and basically broke the thing. And just, like, again, it's basically just, like, the Mad, you know, Hatter being just, you know, purely manic and just causing just so much, you know, chaos, like, during the Tea Party. So I was like, there ain't no way they were gonna, like, miss out on you doing this. Like, you know, doing the Tea Party. And I was wondering, I was like, how is it going to work, you know, in regards to, like, just cleaning a table? And, well, now we know how it's working. I've been shrunk down. Or I couldn't even remember if, like, the Mad Hatter was just, like, massive. I mean, again, I really need to brush up on Alice in Wonderland. But, yeah, it's basically, for whatever reason, I've been shrunk down. Or, like, just the Mad Hatter's, like, always been, like, large in size. I don't know exactly all the details behind it. But we're on the table, and we've got, like, a lot of cleaning to do next stream. We're going to be cleaning cheese and just all these, you know, teacups and all that. It's going to be, you know, cool to see how this is going to look once it's done. But, again, that's going to be next stream, if I can do this alongside the Buckingham Files stuff. But, either way, guys, so like I said, it was definitely, like, fun getting in and doing this. And, like I said, it kind of took about as long as I thought it was. It was going to be, like, a bit over an hour. But with that being said, straight up, though, Rogues, I'm going to go and get me some sleep. Because I feel like a lot of my jokes hit or miss, you know, was definitely because, like, you know, I feel like at times, like, when I do, like, wisecracks and everything, it's like when I'm sleep deprived, where, like, my mind just wanders and, like, says a bunch of you know, just I come up with, like, outlandish stuff here and there. But, at the very least, I know that tonight, like, I'll have plenty of time to rest at least, because I'm going to try to, like, be live hopefully around somewhere around 8 p.m., 7 or 8 p.m., and it's only, like, 10 a.m. right now, so I've definitely got time to get me some sleep. And God knows I'm going to relish it. I'm going to savor it. I'm going to savor every second that I'm, like, you know, I'm resting. Hopefully, like, as long as, like, you know, there ain't any disruptions from, like, the people next door, which still hoping that eventually they're going to end up, you know, moving out sometime soon. For those, like, watch my previous streams where I've talked about, you know, exactly what I'm referring to. But, yeah, I definitely can't wait, like, to do this do this portion of the DLC, hopefully next week. But, again, Chrono Trigger, I'm looking forward to that. in the immediate future tonight, and also tomorrow is going to be fun considering me and my friends going to be jumping in, like, trying to finally, get like a proper episode of Gary's Mod going compared to like the chaos that the last one was in regards to, like, a lot of stuff going wrong. So yeah, this was a fun little stream. Sleep deprivation, like, aside, me like having only 3 hours of stream, 3 hours of 3 hours of sleep, between, like, like all these streams, the 3 streams I've done, from like the one I did for episode 4 of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, like from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. yesterday morning, or yesterday, and then doing like the one stream last night with like only like 3 hours of sleep in between those 2 streams, then hitting the gym. I think I can't remember like what time I left out for the gym. I think I left for the gym, I think like 1 a.m. or so. Like 12, it was like midnight or 1, but I know I got out of there around 3-ish. And then, like, I still ain't slept, and I've, came in and did this stream. So I'm gonna rest. I promise you guys I'm gonna definitely get some sleep. For those who probably got, like, concerned, I'm definitely gonna get some rest. It's just like, it's been like, a lot of like, me ever since I got back from vacation. Like I said, I was gonna hit the ground running. That's what I've been doing because we are coming up on 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I want to make sure I definitely try to earn them and put the effort in. So, but I also, of course, do rationalize that I do need to start trying to, like, make sure I take the time to rest, when needed. But yeah. But anyways, guys, rambling thoughts aside, I'm gonna go sleep. Thank you those who came out and hung out with me. If you guys aren't, subscribed to the channel, deeply appreciate you doing so. And if you enjoy the stream, also appreciate you liking, sharing, and, commenting, so on and so forth. But anyways, I'll see you guys tonight for Chrono Trigger. But until then, much love, Rogues. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me for this one. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thanks for watching.